Okay, if we're ready, let's dive in. So, for anyone who is joining or watching the replay, welcome. I know that there were quite a few new names and faces that I was seeing here tonight. If you're meeting me for the first time, my name's Shamini. I'm a mentor, I'm an artist, and I'm a shaman. And I help people really connect in and align with their soul. So, what that means is that often we live a life that is conditioned by our belief systems and who we've been told that we are or who we believe we should be. And as we go through our lives, we have certain experiences that sometimes make us reevaluate the choices that we're making, and we get the opportunity to, maybe take a different path. And often that's when people find me. They come across me and they know that I can help them to elevate their consciousness, have the courage to take that new path, or that thing that their heart is yearning for. So these heartscaping sessions are about me guiding you into your inner world. So the way I see it, we have a whole universe that exists within us. And within that universe, we have many different personalities. We have different aspects of ourselves. We have um, also certain constructs and belief systems and limitations that may be holding us back. And the more time we spend in introspection, we get to become familiar with our inner world, and we get to recreate it on our own terms. So that's what heartscaping is. It's redefining success on your own terms rather than what you've been told you should want or you should have or the way you should be. We get to really create that from the inside out in a way that feels aligned and that serves us and helps us really ultimately have a fulfilling and purposeful life. So, tonight is the new moon. It is a new moon. I've heard, if you follow Western astrology, you may have heard that this new moon is in the sign of Leo. But if you were to take out a telescope and look at the position of the moon in the sky astronomically, so within the sidereal system, which is also known as the Vedic system, the moon is currently in the constellation of Cancer. So I'm going to go with that. I like to go with what's actually happening in the sky rather than a distorted belief that has been, kind of trending in society. So more on that. If you're interested in knowing more, we can chat about that another time. But for now, I'm going to be focusing on the themes of the sign of Cancer, which is a water sign, which is very emotional and is very linked to the mother archetype. And this really resonated with me when I was kind of feeling into these themes, because I noticed it actually took me until now to notice that this whole year for me has had a very strong theme of mother in general. So the artwork that you can see behind me is a large scale piece that I've created this year that is titled Mother Tree. I have another artwork over there that's a watercolor portrait that I've worked on that is called Mother of All. And this year has been one where I'm actually going to be traveling back to Europe. I'm currently in Australia, traveling back to Europe to see my own mother for the first time. And I haven't seen her in 6 years, which is a really long time. But, there was COVID thrown in there and moving house and lots of other things that happened that made this a very long time that I haven't seen my own mother, even though we have been in contact. It has also been a year that unfortunately I lost my mother-in-law. She passed away recently, and she was very much a mother to me. But I also gained a mother in moving to the Northern Territory. I was adopted into a kinship system by a local Aboriginal woman who became my kind of surrogate mother and is very loving and warm and is fulfilling that role in my life in some way. So I feel like this theme of motherhood is very present, or the mother, not so much motherhood, but the theme of the mother, what the mother actually means. in all of her strength and in her different aspects. And so, what I would like us to explore with this new moon is, how is that showing up in your life? Where is the theme of the mother showing up? Because ultimately, these gatherings are open to anyone, but I know that I generally tend to work with a lot more women than men. I guess women tend to be more drawn to these type of heart-centered spiritual practices. Anyone is welcome, and this will be completely relevant whether you are male or female or however you identify. But I want us to take a moment to look at how the feminine has been shown to us in our lives. So, for example, if you grew up in a family where your mother was, or the motherly figure that was most prominent in your life was a working mother, was very ambitious, was used to, I don't know, maybe wearing corporate suits. The archetype that you will picture in your mind as the archetype of the feminine, of the mother, the primary role, and the typical figure for you will have the form of that primary motherly caregiver that you had as a kid, because we're forming our ideas about the world and about ourselves at a young age. So whoever took on that role for you, that could be your mother, that could be your stepmother, that could be your grandmother, or a woman who was very present in your life as you were growing up. I want you to think about how she represented the feminine. Was she very nurturing? Was she maybe not that nurturing? Was she very gentle? Was she very opinionated? Did she use her voice, or was she a people pleaser? Because that is, to some degree, the blueprint that we adopt as children. And then we tend to reenact that and relive that in our lives, in our relationships. We recreate what we have been, what has been demonstrated to us. And I'm explaining this from the perspective of a hypnotherapist. I'm trained as a hypnotherapist. I've been working with a lot of my clients. I specialize in trauma work. And so I'm not talking about the surface level of this. Like, it's really these deep themes that are deeply rooted in our subconscious, that if we're not aware of them, we can't take steps towards changing them and deciding whether they work for us or not. So, for example, if you grew up in a household where your mother was the primary caregiver, was a stay-at-home mum, took care of the kids, did all the cooking, did all the cleaning around the house, and that seems like a stereotypical female role to you, but that is actually what you aspire to experience in your life if you really want to be a mum and a partner, and you want to take care of the home, and that is something that feels really fulfilling to you, then awesome. That is great. What we want to just bring awareness to is where these patterns are playing out in your life without you realizing and without you consciously choosing that for yourself. So there's no right or wrong way to live our lives. But what I really truly believe is that we owe it to ourselves, and we owe it to our children and to the people around us to do life on our own terms. But I guess, yes, we owe it to other people, but we owe it most foremostly to ourselves. We are the only person that we're going to spend the rest of our lives with. And so it matters to really have your own back and live life on your own terms. It's commonly known these days that one of the regrets that people have in their later years is that they did not make the choices that they wanted to do, and they lived out of fear or out of, I guess, not wanting to disappoint anybody else. But that's not how we do things around here. So welcome. Let's dive into these themes and what that looks like to you. So what I'm going to do is we're going to start by taking a few deep breaths. We'll close our eyes down and I'll guide you with my voice. So please know that you're in really good hands. We're not going to go into any really deep, emotional, dark places. I promise you that, well, I don't think that that would be appropriate or helpful for me to do that and guide you in that way, without being there to know that you have the right support on the other side. but we're just going to shine some light on what may be there in your inner world, because once we know what's there, we can take a plan, we can make a plan, we can start to take action, and we can be strategic about getting the right support, doing the right things, and having everything in place to be able to create that sustainable change. I'm not here to tell you that you need to make quick, fast, easy changes, but rather gently, slowly cultivate your inner world to become what you would like to see bloom into your life. So if you feel comfortable in doing so, I invite you to close your eyes down now and start focusing on your breath. I'll join you here. Start noticing the movement of your breath. Notice the gentle rise and fall of your chest. Notice the gentle expansion of your belly. If you're sitting up, I invite you to roll your shoulders back and down. If you're lying down, allow your arms to grow heavy. Imagine that you're sinking into your inner world. I invite you to guide your awareness from your mind that you may perceive as being in your head. Invite that awareness to gently make its way down your throat, down to your heart space, and to settle here in the center of your heart. And maybe for you, you'd like to imagine a physical space within you. Or maybe you'd like to just feel the sensation within your body of feeling into your heart space. Maybe you'd like to imagine your heart chakra. Maybe that looks like a green light or a pink. Find what feels good to you. If you want to create a place, I invite you to imagine your ideal inner or outer environment. Maybe you'd like to imagine yourself in a clearing in a beautiful forest, or on a sunny beach, or maybe in a cozy library, or on a beautiful velvet sofa. The really fun thing about our inner world is we get to create it however we desire. So I invite you now to fill this space with things that are nurturing to you, as if you were bringing offerings to yourself. And that could look like anything, like a beautiful shell or a soft blanket. Notice any colors that come to mind and allow yourself to be really comfortable in this space, knowing that you have everything you need. You are perfectly safe and all is well. Now, from this space, from your heart space, I want you to allow your awareness to drop even lower in your body. Allow your awareness to drop to your expanding belly, expanding it with your breath, and allowing your belly to soften on the exhale. And draw your awareness all the way down to your hips. Allowing your hips to soften. And as we arrive in this area of your body, you may feel a little emotional, a little vulnerable. That's okay. We carry so much tension in our hips. We carry many stories, a lot of generational stuff that was never yours to hold. And just allow yourself to breathe. It is safe for you to be here. And I want you to bring to mind what you were taught it looked like to be a human in this world. The person that had that mother energy for you growing up. What did she show you? What did she teach you? Whether it was with her words or her actions. And just noticing that sometimes what we are teaching is not what we are doing, but what we are not doing. What was shown to you as a small child? And are there any parts of this that you can recognize as a pattern that you're playing out now as an adult, or that you played out as a teenager, as a younger person? And it's never all good or all bad. So I want you to notice, what are the beautiful traits that you were taught? Maybe you were taught to be there for others, to take care of your physical home. Maybe you were taught how to cook. Maybe you were given a love for fashion. What are the wonderful things that you took from this relationship with your mother? And I want you to imagine taking all of these traits and wrapping them up and knowing that you hold them within you. You will always have those resources. But now, just for a moment, I want you to also notice, what else did you pick up that maybe doesn't really sit right with you, that maybe never felt aligned to who you are? Maybe it's something that you were told, or it's a behavior that was modeled for you. And even if it was aligned for your mother figure, is it true for you? And my love, this is where you get to decide. You're allowed to make a different choice. And that doesn't make anybody right or wrong. I want you to just bring awareness to that. And if you were to gently weed out these behaviors, these beliefs, what could your life look like? What would it feel like to be completely free? And let's take a deep inhale in, breathing in that ease, that freedom. Really experiencing what it feels like to be free from patterns that were never yours, free to make empowered choices. I invite you to bring one hand to your heart and one hand to your belly, and take a few deep intentional breaths in and out, anchoring that feeling into your body. And when you're ready, gently come back to your full awareness, wriggling your fingers, wriggling your toes. Maybe bring some gentle movement into your body. And when it feels right, open your eyes. Welcome back. And if you would like to take a break now and just take some time to jot down any of the ideas, any of the insights that came to you, these are so unique and personal to you. And what I know to be true is that sometimes we can experience or see something or have like a thread of an awareness and it doesn't quite make sense and we didn't get the full picture. But if we take notes, we're telling our subconscious that that information is relevant and we're going to start noticing um, all of the other clues to how our intuition is trying to guide us. Because what I know to be true is that your soul is always trying to guide you back on path, the path that is most aligned to you, the one that you chose for yourself in this lifetime. And sometimes there is many different ways that you can go about this, and that's where we use our free will and it gets really fun. But sometimes we can also be very heavily entangled in all of the conditioning that we experienced growing up. And obviously, as a hypnotherapist, this is something that I do every day with my clients. Like we untangle a lot of those old stories so that they can reveal who they truly are. And it can seem a little bit complex, but it's one of the most rewarding journeys that we could possibly go on. And it's been an absolute honor to guide you this evening through this practice. So what now, right? Where do we go from here? I'm a great believer that, these kind of sessions, they are wonderful, but you need to implement whatever insights you may have gained through this practice. Sit with them, take a moment to reflect, to journal, to meditate, and listen to yourself. What is your intuition communicating to you, and what is your next step? You will know what that next step is. If you feel to reach out to get appropriate support, I'm absolutely available to have a free and completely obligation-free 20-minute chat just to see where you're at and see if I'm the best person to support you or if I can point you in the direction of someone who is. I really believe that we are never meant to do this alone. We all have our blind spots, and it can be really, really fun to get the right support and someone who can really see you in your full power and help you get to wherever it is that you were always meant to be. I have a few private mentoring offerings and some courses that can support you, and group offerings coming up very soon. So find the links below, hop on my newsletter if you're not there, and you can also, through the newsletter, get access to the next live heartscaping practice. I do these at least once a month, and I would love to have you there. Feel free to ask me any questions as well. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Mwah.